It's called corporate inversion. Nobody knows what it is, but companies have trillions of dollars in other countries. And we can't get it back into this country. You know that, right? You've been hearing about it. Trillions. They know the number is $2.5 trillion. I say it's much higher than that. Nobody really knows. I think it's right. So at least $2.5 trillion is offshore, all these different countries. And what we're doing is our companies are going to, and they've already started, leaving the United States and moving to those other countries to get their money. Well, but you can't blame them. To get their money and to get lower taxes. So I came up with a tax plan that cuts taxes way down for corporations, for the middle-income people, of which we don't have too many in this room, I can tell you. They're all upper middle-income people and upper people. But for the middle-income people, because the middle class in this country has been totally forgotten about. It's been totally forgotten about. So we're cutting corporate taxes. We're cutting taxes for the middle income. We're cutting a lot of things like carried interest. These guys, you know, the hedge fund guys, they pick a stock. If it goes up, they're geniuses, they make a fortune. If it goes down, they find another job, okay? A lot of it's luck. So what happens is the Democrats and the Republicans both agree that we should bring them on. Who cannot agree? For 3.5 years, they've agreed, and they still can't make a deal. It's gridlock in Washington. It's lack of leadership in Washington, and we're going to stop it. We're going to stop it, okay? We're going to stop it. The other day, and it's going to be amazing, we're going to have a really dynamic country. The other day, I watched a general being interviewed. And I said to a group before, why the hell is a general being interviewed on television? I don't want my generals being interviewed. I don't want them telling what we're doing, where we're going. Can you imagine General George Patton, who used to walk in a room with blood pouring out of his eyes? Do you think this guy's going to be interviewed on CNN? I don't think so. I mean, I'm watching this general be interviewed, and the first thing is that, and I love great generals. I love General MacArthur. You know, to this day, he had the highest marks. I'm a big fan of academics, believe it or not. But he had the highest marks in the history of West Point. Highest average. That's a, you know, smart guy. In fact, his biggest problem is he hated to listen to Dwight Eisenhower because Dwight, who was a great guy, but he was at the lower part of his class, and MacArthur was the smartest guy probably ever at West Point, at least according to academics. And he couldn't believe that he had to take orders from Ike. I mean, there's so many interesting stories. But could you imagine General Douglas MacArthur being on television saying the following? The question was by a very good man asking the questions, said, what do you think of ISIS? Can we win? And the general looked at him and said, oh, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very, very tough. I don't know. It's going to take a very, very long time. And I looked at this guy and I said, number one, he's a weak person. You know, I'm very good. You know, deals aren't deals. Deals are people. When you do deals, it's people, not deals. Everybody always says, deals are people. Remember it. I tell kids, deals are not deals. Deals are people. But I looked at this general. I said, I don't want him. I don't want him. I will find the smartest, and smart is very important, toughest. You know, we got rid of a very smart one. I'm not going to mention names. But we got rid of a guy, remember? Because he was using foul language to a magazine. He was tough and mean and nasty, and the troops really respect. And we got rid of him because he was tough. I will find the General MacArthur. I will find the General George Patton. We've got him. We've got him. They may not be politically correct. Who cares? Who cares? But we're going to find them. And we're going to clean things up, and we're going to we're gonna have a great country again. We're gonna have a great, and respected. We're gonna have a respected country. So we have a lot to do. We will build the wall. We will build the wall. We have no choice. And by the way, people will come into our country, but they're going to come in legally. Legally. You know, I appreciate whoever the hell yelled out, will you build a wall? Because to be honest, in this group, I wasn't so sure I should be talking about walls. Does that make sense? See, tomorrow in Jacksonville, I can talk about walls, believe me. But in this one, I was a little hesitant to talk about it. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, and I say this all the time, and people bear it out, a radio host, Hispanic show in New York, said, you know, he was interviewed 2 weeks ago, he said, you know, my audience is all Hispanic. They love Trump. They love Trump. And let me tell you, who wants to stop illegal immigration more than anybody? The Hispanics that are in our country legally. It's true. It's true. So, just to finish up, our country doesn't win anymore. You know that, right? Am I right? We don't win. When was the last time we had victory? We lose with China on trade. We lose with ISIS. We lose with Iraq. We don't know what we're doing. Iran just made the single greatest contract I have ever seen anybody make. We were represented by a man that should be ashamed of himself. A man, Secretary Kerry, that should get the hell off a bicycle. Here's a guy falls off his bicycle during the negotiation, breaks his leg. We were represented by incompetent people. And it's not going to happen anymore, folks. It's not going to happen anymore. And let me tell you something. If and when I win, I'm not... So, if and when I win, we are going to have so many victories. It's going to be so nice. It's going to be so nice. We're going to win on trade. We're going to win at everything. We're going to terminate Obamacare. We're going to terminate it. It's going to be terminated. It's going to be replaced with something much better and much less expensive for you and for the country. Let me tell you, Obamacare was a dream for the insurance companies. They've made a fortune with Obamacare. They've made a fortune. And your premiums are up 40%, 50%, 55%. Your deductibles are through the roof. You'll never even be able to use it. It is so bad. We're going to repeal it and replace it with something great. Great. We are going to bring back the American dream. And this is as sure as you're standing here tonight, and look around, folks. because this is a movement. This is something very special, and it's happening all over the country, not just here in Miami. It's happening all over the country. You'll see it tomorrow in Jacksonville. It happens all over the country. We are going to make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And there you go, folks. Donald Trump. We just played the encore from Miami. First time campaigning in Florida. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Page. We do have another stream lined up for you this evening, and we're playing our biggest stream of the week, as we always do on Friday, and it just so happens to be Donald Trump. It's going to be Donald Trump from South Carolina, and we're going to play that for you. It's the full speech from South Carolina, just in case maybe you guys didn't get to see it. Well, tonight you are on Fox 10 News Now. Of course, that's what we do. We bring it to you. We're going to have one more Trump this evening, and then Kinsey's going to come out and close the show down tonight. But we appreciate, once again, everybody in the chat room. You guys are doing an amazing, amazing job. Thank you for being so vocal and so social in there. That's what it's for. We appreciate y'all, and we are going to get right into it. Here is Donald Trump from earlier this week, our biggest stream of the week. Of course, we're going to bring it to you right now. This is from South Carolina. Donald Trump. And while you're at it, give me a follow on Twitter. Why not? You see it right there. All right, going to Donald Trump, South Carolina. Enjoy, everybody.
We're not going to have our country as we know it. We're just not. It's so important. We're just not going to have it. So it's such an honor being here, and you know, I have to tell you this. I love you too, darling. Oh, look at you. Whoa. I love you too. I love everybody in this room. I really do. So, you know, I've a lot of times, and I've said it, that the American dream is dead, but I'm going to make it bigger and better and stronger than ever before. We're going to get rid of regulation. We're going to lower taxes. We're going to get rid of the Obamacare. There's so many things. We're going to strengthen our military. We're going to take care of our vets. They have to be taken care of. We're going to do all these things. And I always say it. And I tell the story every once in a while where I go home, where I say the American dream is dead, but we're going to make it bigger and better and stronger than ever before. My wife goes, it's true. It's true. But here's what happens. I go home, and I see my wife, and she sees it on television. And she says, darling, that's so terrible what you said. I said, what? You said the American dream is dead. I said, I didn't say that. I said, it's dead. We're going to make it bigger and better. Oh, well, they cut that off. And I go check the television. They cut it off. It sounds terrible. But it is true. The American dream is dead, but we're going to make it bigger and better and stronger than ever before. Ever, ever, ever before. And I'll tell you what, and it's a big promise, but I will do everything in my power to do it. We're going to make America great again, but we're going to make America, I think, and I really believe, greater than it's ever been before. I really mean it. I really mean it. So I want to thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you, everybody. Doing very well. I've been hearing a lot about them. Can they go all the way? I think so. Maybe. That's great. Good luck. We're going to be watching. Going to be interesting. We're going to be watching. So, big Second Amendment. We're all big, heavy on the Second Amendment. You know. You know, the president's thinking about signing an executive order where he wants to take your guns away. You hear it this way. This is the new. Not going to happen. That won't happen. But that's a tough one. I think that's a tough one for him to do. When you actually have the Second Amendment, that's tough. Because there's plenty of executive orders being signed. You know that. And we can't let that go on. So it'll all stop. It'll all stop. It'll stop very soon, I think, because people are tired of what's going on, and they're tired of what's happening to our country. I wanted to mention, you know, just before I got here, like 10 minutes ago, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, just came out with a new poll, and the headline is, Trump on top, highest points he's gotten so far. I mean, it's number one. Can you believe? Yeah, we're going great. We have the highest number we've had so far, and they just announced, which is hard for them to say that, I have to say. But it's our highest number. We're in number one position, and you have a lot of people that are not doing well in that poll, I'll have to tell you. You have a lot of zeros. You know, 0, 0, 0. Do you know who we have that has a 0? Lindsey Graham. What's going on with this guy? I don't know him, but, you know, he came up to my office. I saw him one time. He wanted a campaign contribution. Shocked. I was shocked to find this out. Long time ago. But he's been so nasty. It's really incredible. Today he was being interviewed, and I see Lindsey Graham. I said, what's he doing? Go back to your people in South Carolina. Represent your people and do a good job, you know. But he said, I didn't want to go to Afghanistan. It's not right. No, Afghanistan is where we should have gone, all right? I didn't want to go to Iraq because I didn't want to destabilize the Middle East, but he doesn't understand the difference between one and the other. And it's proven to be right. It's proven to be right. But we've got to make our military so strong, so powerful, so incredible. You know, it's so important. I say it all the time. So strong, so great, so powerful that nobody's going to mess with us. You've heard it. And we've got to take care of our vets. Our vets are being treated. Our vets are being treated so badly. You know, I brought up the subject of illegal immigration, right? Our vets are being, in many cases, treated not as well as illegal immigrants. You saw the other night. Did you see the debate the other night? Can you believe this? All right? They can't give it away fast enough. Now, what they're giving is going to cost you taxes, okay? That's all it is. But they're talking about, for illegal immigrants, Social Security, so many other things. You know, in Los Angeles, 50% of the people getting driver's license, you get a driver's license in Los Angeles, 50% illegal immigrants. And you have to stop it. And we want people to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. They have to. Have to. When I brought up the subject, as you know, a few months ago, hard to believe I've been a politician for 3 months, right? And for 3 months, people have been saying, no, the polls must be wrong. The polls, because practically, not only practically, from the beginning, I've been at the top of every poll, including today. And they had an article written in one, you know, from the time this guy, you know, when are they going to get it in their head? We're doing really well. When are they going to get, like, for instance, the cameras down there? You won't see this kind of a crowd. Record crowd. The folks that run the arena, they just came to me. They said, sir, this is the biggest crowd we've ever had. By far. They didn't even say it close. And I tell people, I go home, my wife sees me, she goes, oh, did you have many people? Because we have crowds like this everywhere. The reason, it's not me, it's the message.